dance for joy or lust or anger.
Welcome to Sensible Secondhand Reviews, the series where we look at cars that you could buy that are practical and sensible for a budget of between £1,000 and £5,000. That's what we normally do anyway. In this case, as Matt from the High Peak Autos channel says, I've massively overspent. So I was going to film a Vauxhall Zafira Tourer today, but that is actually sold at the dealership here in Chelmsford. So I am filming this 2017 Nissan Micra K14 1 litre Vizier instead. I thought I might be able to find one of these on the internet for under £5,000, but it turns out that you can't. These cars are too new and they're in too much demand at the moment, and so this one's worth about £9,000. I hope you'll forgive me for that. They will come into Sensible Secondhand Reviews territory quite soon. So the K14 Micra, the current generation, arrived in 2017. It's been updated a few times over the years. This is quite an early one, it's from the first year of production, and it's in the mid-spec Vizier trim. Upon launch, the car was available with a choice of two different engines. There was a 0.9 TCE engine, which is shared with the Mark IV Renault Clio and the Mark I Renault Capture. And that has 89 horsepower. This engine, this 1 litre, which has about 71 horsepower, was shared with the final generation Renault Twingo. It is a bit slow, this car. 0 to 60 takes 16.2 seconds, and I can absolutely tell you that it does, because I came out of the dealership onto the main road and tried to get away from a car that was coming up behind me, and it took a very, very long time. Fortunately, later on, Nissan introduced some other versions of this 1 litre, which is also in lots of other Renault and Dacia models. First of all, with 100 horsepower, then with 117 horsepower. It's the same engine that you find in the current Nissan Duke. But I think in 2022, Nissan actually changed the number of engines that were available, and it went down to just one, which is a 1 litre with 92 horsepower. And yeah, that means it's ripe for discontinuation. It has just been announced that it's going to happen, which is a shame, because I quite like this little car. There were also some diesels available for a time, but as usual, due to controversial government legislation and all kinds of other reasons, we don't talk about diesels on this channel. What we do talk about is that really, really slow engine aside, this car's quite nice to drive. The 5-speed manual in this is really slick. There's also a 6-speed manual available, I think, on the 100 and 117 brake horsepower engines. You could also get an automatic on the 100, not sure about some of the others. But it's got a really nice driving position. It feels like somebody's really kind of engineered this car to feel quite sporty, even if this little 3-cylinder is not the sportiest sounding thing at all. I like the gearbox. The throw's quite long. This one's done about 46,000 miles, but it still feels really tight. And actually, one of the reasons why you might buy one of these cars is because it drives so nicely. Micras weren't necessarily known for that. I've driven a K10 and a K11 on the channel. I'm still missing the K12 and 13. But this one, yeah, you might just get into one of these, take it out for a test drive, and realise this is the one for you, which I wouldn't blame you for at all. It's a real shame that Nissan have decided to discontinue the K14 Micra. I think it looks really nice. This is the mid-spec Acenta trim. This is a very early one actually. It's from the first year of production, 2017. One thing I would probably say is that the rear window's not very big, and so I would recommend adding some aftermarket parking sensors or reversing camera, because this doesn't have either of them and it's not the easiest thing to reverse. But yes, I think it looks very stylish actually. One thing you'll notice is rather like the Renault Clio of the time. This I think came out around the same time as the Mark V Clio, possibly a little bit for that, but the Mark IV and Mark V both have this similar thing that this K14 Micra has, where you open the doors like this. Unfortunately, when you look inside, we've got a very hard plastic door card, no fabric in here, and windy windows in the back. Not the biggest fan of windy windows in the back, viewers, I must say, but never mind. Actually, we might see if we can get in here and move that across. It's not the most amount of headroom I've ever had. Mark IV Clio is quite similar in that respect. Obviously, they're the same car underneath. But yeah, it's nice enough, I suppose. You can see how small the windows actually are. Got a cup holder in here. Haven't got a centre armrest or anything like that. And just very kind of normal looking seats. It's perfectly acceptable sort of a fabric though. And actually, yeah, it looks okay in here really. I've just noticed that steering wheel looks like it's plastic rather than leather, but never mind. Yeah, Venturia door handles feel okay. Doesn't feel anything like a K10 Micra or anything like that, but you know, this is what modern cars are like. But you're going to have to buy a Duke actually if you want to have a bit of rear space, because there's not tons in there. Let's open up the boot and hopefully my dealer plate doesn't fall off. Very careful. Oh viewers, why does this always happen? Put that back later. Right, so we have 300 litres of space, which is pretty good. It's actually bigger than, say, something like a Mark 7 Fiesta. We should have a spare wheel under here, but we don't. We have the tyre inflation kit, which kind of annoys me a bit. But yeah, it's nice. I've got a light in here. I haven't got any hooks or anything, which is a bit annoying. But yeah, it's nice enough. That's quite a light hatch actually to move. And we'll get in the front. Actually quite a nice driving position in this car. It feels really sporty. There's not really a sort of hot hatch version of the Micra. The most powerful engine's 117 horsepower. But yeah, it feels actually quite well made, even though you've got a plastic steering wheel in this car. The heating ventilation controls are really easy to operate, and they're just here. Then we've got the USB, aux in, and 12-volt sockets there. 5-speed manual in this car. Some of the more powerful engines, you could get a 6-speed manual, and you can get an automatic. But only 5-speed manual on this least powerful 1 litre. Nice normal handbrake and some cup holders, and a cup holder for the back as well. I'll have to check later if the secret mesh was going there. So yes, door pockets, they're not massive, but you can put a bottle of water in there. The instrumentation, just put the key in. There we go. A nice little colour graphic here. Because this is a 2017 car, I don't think we get Android Auto or Apple CarPlay. I don't think it's on this particular one. They came the next year. So we don't seem to be able to do too much at the moment, which is fine. There's no sat-nav. The sat-nav button will probably be here. So yeah, if you really want immediate connectivity, I would probably go for one of the sort of later cars, 2018 onwards. Little bit of sort of soft touch thing on here. It's not fabric really, that's sort of vinyl or something. Dash is actually soft touch. I wasn't expecting that at all. That's really nice. Yes, it feels a lot better in here than even probably the Mark 4 and Mark 5 Clio, I would say. And this car's actually got automatic lights and automatic wipers and cruise control. Yeah, I mean, as I said, I could do with the reversing camera or parking sensors. Also, there's the tyre pressure monitoring warning light on this car at the moment. That'll be sorted out before it goes to the new buyer. But yeah, everything feels really nice. We've actually got reach adjustment and rake adjustment for the steering, so it's really easy to get a good driving position. So I didn't expect it to feel as kind of sort of sporty as it does. It feels nice in that respect. But we are missing the rear electric windows, of course. Some of you will find that annoying, some of you won't. And we've got lane keeping assist in here. Fantastic. Right, let me get my secret documents. We'll try that first, and then we'll open the bonnet and take a look at the 1 litre engine. Disappointing. So 1 litre 3-cylinder engine in this car, in this case developing just 70 horsepower. And yes, I could feel that on the way here, viewers. Yeah. So, shared with various Renault and Dacia models, it's actually not that adorned with plastic covers as I was expecting it to be. So, yes, it'd be better with a turbo, I suppose. But, you know, some of you, this will be all you need and this will be enough. One thing that's a bit strange is that the fuel release and bonnet release are in the same place there. So if you were not very careful, you could presumably pull the wrong one when you didn't want to. So just be aware of that. But yeah, I think this is an attractive looking car. I'm looking forward to going out for another drive. The engine sort of sounds quite willing, actually. It sounds a lot more willing than it actually is. You've really got to sort of rev it out to get any performance out of it at all. But that's okay. Ride is actually really comfortable in this. The steering is quite well weighted. It's probably an electric system in this, like it is in most modern cars, but it's quite well weighted. Still very easy to use. I mean, like K11s back in the day in particular were known for being really easy cars to drive, and this is pretty easy. The biggest problem is actually parking when you like in this model don't have parking sensors or a reversing camera, but you can get them, so just make sure you buy one with it, I suppose. Yeah, so going through this corner, it's actually got better steering than a lot of older cars I've driven, to be honest. This car, it's very light. There's not tons of feedback, but it feels accurate enough, and yeah, it's very pleasant indeed. Lloyd Vehicle Consulting stickers, t-shirts and mugs are available by clicking the link to the Google form in the video description below. Let's now look at some Nissan Micra K14 trim levels. The bottom of the range was the Vizia. The mid-range, this one is the Acenta. There's also an Acenta limited edition. Top of the range was the Tecna. There's also an N Sport, and other trim levels include the Bose Personal Edition, the Kiro with 2 eyes for some reason, N-Connector, N-Tech, and Vizia Plus. The lane keeping assist actually is standard on all of these, along with transition recognition and automatic high beam, which is nice. So yes, you've got Android Auto, Apple CarPlay from 2018 onwards. So should you consider a Nissan Micra K14 for your budget of something over £5,000? Well, I don't see why not. It's quite a nice car to drive, this, and I like the way that actually a lot of things feel really high quality. Not so keen on the rear visibility and limited passenger space in the back, but there we go. Anyway, thank you ever so much indeed once again for watching. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video and comment below, and we shall see you again very soon, hopefully next time, for some reasonably priced motoring.
Every day with blue skies.